10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Wake up, Spotty.
August 1945, 2 nuclear bombs were dropped on Japan by American planes. Over 100,000 people died. How real is the threat of nuclear war today?
We'll be checking out a government pamphlet which gives instructions on how to protect yourself if a nuclear attack were to happen, and some handy hints on how to turn your home into a nuclear fallout shelter.
And what if Teesside was the target for a nuclear bomb, or Sunderland or Tyneside? We visit Durham Control of the Royal Observer Corps, who are preparing for the worst. Again. Terrible pictures there of the only time that nuclear weapons have been used for real against ordinary people, against the Japanese of Hiroshima and Nagasaki 35 years ago. But those images aren't just history. It's possible that they could be part of our future.
America, Russia, China, the giant powers, and a worrying number of smaller powers are busy getting together bigger, better and more devastating nuclear weapons. Britain's in there, of course, with the expected announcement that we'll be modernising our defence system with American Trident missiles and providing bases for long-range cruise missiles. Does all this make us a force to be reckoned with or a prime target?
It's reckoned that the arms race is justified because all this nasty nuclear hardware hides behind the magic word, deterrent, which makes it respectable. It's supposed to work like this. If we've got the bomb, you won't dare attack us. If you've got the bomb, we won't dare attack you. But a growing number of people in the campaign for nuclear disarmament are pointing out that if no one's got the bomb, no one will be attacking anybody. But they could be wrong, I suppose.
If there was a nuclear war, what horrors could we expect? Well, imagine a 1 megaton bomb hitting Tyneside as a ground burst, and the same size bomb on Teesside exploding as an air burst. On Tyneside, everyone in a mile radius of the blast would be killed, and there would be heavy damage for up to 2.5 mile radius. Glass and tiles would be shattered up to a 10-mile radius around, and there would be heavy casualties from shock waves and heat blasts. On Teesside, the airburst bomb would completely wipe out a radius of 1 3/4 miles below the blast, cause heavy damage for nearly 3 miles around, and shatter glass for 11 miles. The main difference between ground and air bursts is that ground bursts suck up dust and contaminate it. Then it comes down as deadly radioactive fallout.
And that's just from 1 megaton bomb. We went along to the Royal Observer Corps post in Durham, where these kind of facts are part of the job to the volunteers on standby to monitor the northeast region under nuclear attack.
The site in Durham was chosen because Durham isn't an industrial area, and the town's not likely to be a prime target for a nuclear attack. It's been reinforced to have a blast rating of 1,000. An ordinary house has one of 25, so that it could survive as a centre for operations during a nuclear attack on the region. The centre is manned by volunteers who have practice sessions 3 nights a week. They use this time to simulate the kind of procedures they would be involved in if a nuclear bomb fell anywhere in the northeast. This base is one of 25 controls in the United Kingdom, part of the UK Warning and Monitoring Organisation. And its job is to pull together information on damage and fallout risks from 40 monitoring stations from the borders down to North Yorkshire. Their work is based on the idea that a nuclear attack would leave many areas undamaged. Panic, chaos and risks from fallout would be the main dangers. The operation at this level is led by Group Controller Roy Phillips.
The United Kingdom Warning and Monitoring Organisation is concerned with giving a warning to the public of impending air attack and then keeping track of the movement of fallout. This group control acts as a centre for collecting data, processing it and disseminating it to our customers.
As well as receiving information from all over the region and red alert warnings if an attack is about to happen or has already happened, the centre acts as a monitoring station too. Each station can plot a nuclear explosion's size and position using a ground zero indicator. That's 4 pinhole cameras which register the blast on an emulsion sheet. Durham has its own cameras on the roof, and collecting information from these is one of the practice exercises. It could mean that someone who drew the short straw would have to go out risking fallout to pick up the information. He'd have to wear protective clothing and carry out the exercise as far as possible, passing through the airtight door in the decontamination chamber. Speed is essential too, because the information about the location of the blast must be logged as soon as possible, with data from the other stations to give a full picture of the attack. The simulated blast shown on the Durham emulsion sheet is plotted and fed into the system.
Bearing 271 051 short.
The plotters working the display boards are constantly updating incoming information by radio and telephone. The boards are evolved every 5 minutes to keep everyone up to date. Another regular check would be made on fallout levels in Durham itself. The probe is on the roof, and so that it can be monitored even when radiation levels are at the highest, it can be pulled down inside the building and checked without anyone going out. Meanwhile, there's a map that brings the meaning of this pretend exercise really home to you, with bomb bursts being plotted for real all over the region, and fallout risks depending on wind direction and speed. One of the good things about radiation, if you can say that, is that it tails off after the first couple of days, and the station would plot the lessening danger so that the all clear could be given to the local population hiding in their homes. The volunteers here have 2 jobs really, to feed information to other government centres and to keep the region informed of its danger areas. But how do the volunteers feel about their privileged position in the station, knowing that their families are outside?
This is a decision that all the volunteers have had to face, but they realise that a job has to be done, and each in their own way have satisfied themselves that their family would be able to cope in their absence.
What would you do if there was a nuclear bomb dropped in Britain?
Scream. No, there's not a lot we could do really, is there?
Probably go underground.
What do you think most people would do?
Die.
I'll get down a drain out the road.
What do you think most people would try to do?
Panic.
I couldn't care less. I'll tell you now. Because if there was a nuclear attack on Britain, we'd all finish.
I would make for the nearest shelter in the bottom of our garden, I think.
Should there be one, you've got to sort of build your protection up, sort of block your windows up and all this sort of thing to try and prevent the radiation getting in.
What would you do in the event of a nuclear explosion?
Go outside and welcome it and say I've had getting on for 62 years of fun. Let's end it all.
There's Germany where they have to build a every new house has to have a bomb shelter, right? And I think everybody, personally myself, I just say, screw you and sit back and relax and just enjoy a cigarette or something like that. and just let them get on with it.
I don't think it's a question of preparing for the nuclear explosion. I think it's more a question of stopping people trying to have them.
Do you think that most people are prepared for a nuclear attack over
No,
here?
I think they're burying their heads in the sand.
Because the world that's going to be left is not going to be worth living in, is it? You know what I mean?
Britain's preparations for nuclear war have been criticised as being pathetically inadequate. There are no public shelters, people aren't aware of the need for protection, and it's easy to imagine the scenes of panic and chaos if the bomb dropped. This pamphlet would be given to every household if war threatened, with hints on turning your home into a shelter. It's called Protect and Survive, but would it really help?
Well, it's been claimed that 80% of the northeast population could survive an attack if they use the advice in this pamphlet. It tells you to turn your house into a fireproof shelter to protect yourself from the radioactive fallout, which can kill you by attacking your body cells. If fallout affects your home, it could last for 14 days. So you've got to stay inside a reinforced room till the all clear sounds. The idea is to choose a room in the middle of your home, a room with as little outside wall as possible, and then reinforce the walls. You do this by using bags of earth from the garden or drawers and suitcases filled with solid material. The room should contain an inner refuge too. You can build it from doors, reinforced in the same way, where you can hold up during the worst of the radiation, maybe for 2 days.
Obviously, if you take an average family of, say, 4 people, you need to be well prepared for 14 days. The pamphlet lists the survival kit you're going to need, like 15 gallons of water. That's about 2 pints per person per day. Enough tinned and dried food for 14 days. That's quite a shopping list, isn't it? A radio and lots of spare batteries, because that's your only contact with the outside world to keep in touch with news of attacks and government broadcasts. And a mechanical clock and calendar, so that you can keep track of the days and nights. Hygiene in a small space like this is going to be vital, so a plastic dustbin and bags for rubbish are on the list as well. And a suggestion for a homemade chemical toilet, a chair without a seat and a plastic-lined bucket. Water supply is very important, so they suggest you wash up plates with a box of sand and paper tissues. Yuck! Then you're going to need all this camping gear here. Plenty of sleeping bags, blankets, warm clothes, saucepans, plates, etc. And of course, a first aid kit. And if the first aid kit doesn't work, the pamphlet even tells you how to dispose of and label any dead bodies.
Oh, what a horrible thought. Well, apparently these instruction books would be issued free during a time of political tension, giving everyone time to get ready. But looking at the kind of work involved to reinforce your shelter, I mean, it's estimated about a ton of earth would have to be dug from your garden. Is it practical? What if you haven't got a garden, if you live in a flat? What if a war starts with very little warning? And are there enough supplies?
Countries like Sweden, Switzerland and Russia already have plans for the evacuation of their population. Mass shelters have been built and houses have their own custom-built shelters. It makes this kind of preparation look a bit like Toy Town, doesn't it?
It certainly does, Chris. In fact, there is growing pressure from some groups of MPs for a full inquiry into the state of Britain's readiness to face nuclear war, and the Home Secretary is going to report on it.
But with mass shelters estimated to cost up to £5,000 per head of the population, can Britain afford them? It looks like it's going to be a case of do it yourself or die.
And on that sobering thought, we leave you with the personal comment on nuclear war from Kate Bush with a song called Breathing. And let's hope we can all find some clean, radiation-free air left in a few years' time. See you next week.
With a bit of luck.
We're gonna go help him, King!
Bloody likely. What sort of chance you think we'd have?
What a nice mate you are! Well, what are we gonna do?
We do exactly what Gary would have done in this spot. We grab the money and piss off out of here before she comes back for us, and her old man's probably called the cops by now too.
You mean you just walk out of here and let him get blown away?
You better face it, Reb. That's what he had planned for you, babe.
He loves me! I don't believe you! He wouldn't do that to me! He wouldn't!
Come on, babe. We better get out of here.
Now, you ready to tackle those books again?
OK. Go get your John and Betty.
It's not like learning to read. It's merely learning the alphabet through your fingers. No big deal at all.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Anyway, it's been pretty interesting so far.
Man, he's alive.
Wouldn't take the word of a criminal. You're all animals.
I swear to God,
He is. He's alive.
Joan!
You're obviously in the right place, but look at that kitchen.
You reckon they've still got the hostages with them?
That's hard to say. Hello? Looks like we might get some answers. Miss Ferguson! Miss Ferguson, are you all right?
I'm Major Ferguson, the one who called you. One of the kidnappers has been shot. He's back there. I think he's dead.
See to it, Sparks. Now, you better sit down somewhere, Miss Ferguson.
What about the others?
No sign of anyone when we arrived. What happened?
Well,
Well, it's rather unfortunate, I'm afraid. We'd managed to get the gun, but he tried to get it back from me, caused it to fire, and he was in the way.
Yeah. Well, we'll be taking statements down the station. Now, is there anything you can tell us about where the other two might be? A make of car, perhaps?
Yeah, it was a cream Nissan four-wheel drive. I'm not too sure of the registration number. It's HEX something.
Ah, that's a good start. I'll get someone onto it. Can't be too far.
Sergeant, my father needs medical attention.
Yeah, I'll see to that just as soon as I've radioed through these details. Now, you two just rest, eh? You look like you've been through a bit.
It's not fair. We always got to go just when the movie is getting interesting.
An escapee from Wentworth Detention Centre, 19-year-old Rebecca Keane.
Oh, hey, it's Red everybody! Shut up! For heaven's sake! What did I do with this done? Corner or not? Well, it's not my fault. Some stupid duffer run the corner round the front. Stupid duffer around here is you.
For God's sake, will you lot shut up? If you want to know what happened to Red, put the bloody cord back in.
Well, thank you, Judy. That's what I was going to do, and you're starting yelling.
Hurry up.
Oh, now you've made us miss us, you stupid cow.
Leave alone. Phyllis, it was an ex.
Yeah, go suck an egg, Phyllis.
What the hell's the matter with you lot tonight?
What do you reckon? I haven't had a fag since yesterday.
Well, me neither. You smoked the last one I had.
You think you got problems? I've been out of Rollies for days and now my batteries are flat.
Look, it's not the end of the world, is it? Now either shut up and watch the telly or go to your cells and contemplate your navels.
Nothing on now. I'm going to the dorm.
But you can't find your navel with that roll of fat you got. Where are you going, Belinda? The library. I left my study sheet there. Well, what do you know? What? Belinda getting stuck into the brow.
Must be more to it than that. Wouldn't believe anything she says.
Wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
What do you want?
The Spaniard gave Donovan. I want it back before Belinda gets a grubby little paws on it.
Don't talk crap. I didn't give nothing to Donovan.
Then how come she found it so easily?
How the hell should I know? I don't give a stuff as long as I'm not caught with it.
I do, Hunt. And I want it back in my hand before it's firmly embedded in my brain.
Get it yourself.
What are you two up to? Plotting to overthrow the government? Have an early night?
Just going to the rec room, Mr. Manning. I left my book there.
I'm going to get a new one. It's nearly locked up.
Mr. Manning? Sister still there?
I'm not sure why.
I don't know, I just don't feel very well. I've got this lump in my throat and it's really hard to swallow.
Yeah, sounds like the dreaded lurgy. Oh, get yourself into bed. I'll see what the sister can do.
Johns? What are you doing here at this time of night?
Oh, sorry, Mrs. Morris. Look, I left my Braille study sheet in the library. I wanted to go over it tonight.
All right, but hurry, I want to look up.
Oh, there you are, Mrs. Morris. Can I see you for a minute, please?
Yeah, what is it? What's taking you so long?
I couldn't find it.
Oh. Here it is on the table. Come on, you should be locked in your cell. I should have kept you overnight at the hospital. Or at least let me take you home.
I'm fine, Joan. Just superficial wounds.
What you've been through.
The army trained us to withstand far worse things than that young fellow handed out. Now, Joan. I know it isn't an easy thing to come to terms with under any circumstances. A man has been killed. But just remember, you're not alone.
You should have let me take the responsibility. I've never known you to lie before.
Well, I was partly to blame. And a little white lie is a small thing compared to what a trial might do to your career.
Thank you, Father. But I've had to resign. A governor can't help a prisoner escape and expect to hold her position, acting governor or not.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Just heard they caught up with Keane.
Oh, that is good news. What about our friend, Kevin?
No sign as yet. They must have split up. But the night's still young. Now, those statements. Major?
Well?
Yeah, Sister said these would fix you up till the morning.
For God's sake, I am really ill and all I get's a couple of pills.
I'm sure the Sister knows what's best, Stevens.
I'm telling you, I should be in hospital.
Just take the tablets, will you? Certainly improved for a lady that was on her last legs 10 minutes ago.
I'm telling you, I am not well.
All right, we'll get into bed then. Good night, ladies.
What's all that about?
Just Stevens going overboard with her ailments. And you reckon we fellas can bung it off?
What did you give her?
Aspirin and a sleeping tablet. Sister reckons she'll be fine in the morning.
Soon be lights out.
I wouldn't try anything tonight if I were you, Belinda.
Oh? Why's that?
Because I'm going to be watching you every minute. And the instant you make one wrong move, you're going to be a very sorry blind girl.
What, you're going to stay awake all night, are you? Listen to you. You're already half asleep.
Here you are. Hope your coffee hasn't got too cold.
Well, that's very kind of you, Miss.
It's you. I thought it was Rick. What are you doing here so late?
Just catching up, or should I say reorganising. Don't get me wrong, loving every minute of it.
Any news of Keane?
He won't mind, will he? No, that's what I wanted to tell you about. They have caught her, and not a sign of the $50,000. They're bringing her back in the morning.
That'll be a bitter entrance, I'll bet.
She should be bitter. I don't think Joan and her father will forget what she put them through.
Sweet dreams.
Don't count on it.
Well, lights out. Now we're both equal, Stevens.
Oh, I can still see you.
Not for long.
For God's sake, why are you doing this to me? I haven't done anything to hurt you.
You took away my sight.
How could I? I'd never met you before you came in here.
It was your boyfriend who did it. He bashed me up so bad I had bandages on my eyes for weeks. And then when they took them off...
Hey, I had nothing to do with those bashings. That was Jerry. That was old Jerry. I had nothing to do with
It's too late to wriggle out of it now, you bitch!
Help me! Help me!
Hey, what the hell's going on in there? Belinda, are you all right? Belinda! Help! Help somebody! Help! Belinda's Sonia, they're trying to kill each other.
No, you don't, John.
No, you don't!
Stevens! Get away from her!
She tried to kill me.
Get out! You got the right inside.
No, she tried
I
to...
said get out! You all right?
Yeah, it was just a stupid argument. Sonia got a bit carried away, that's all.
All right, well, you don't have to worry about her anymore. Just Get to bed, eh?
Damn. There you go.
Yep.
Oh. Got to face the inquest next.
Oh, just a formality. The police accept the fact that it was self-defense.
I didn't mean to shoot him. I would have earlier.
Of course you didn't. I startled you. But don't torment yourself with it. If he'd got the gun, he would have killed both of us. Now, come on, drink up your cocoa. It's a new day tomorrow, and we can start thinking about what sort of work you want to do next.
Funny, isn't it? You taking the blame to save a job that I don't have anymore.
You'll have no trouble finding a new career. But I do think that a softer attitude would make things a lot easier in whatever you choose to do. Remember the old adage? You can catch more flies with honey than you can with vinegar. That's my girl.
Why wouldn't you believe me? She's been trying to get me for weeks.
Save your sore throat, Stevens. I don't believe one word you tell me. You see, I know a lot more about you than what you think I do.
Like what?
Your husband is a mate of mine. Yeah. Eddie worshipped the ground you walked on. You should see him now, on the booze. Half the bloke I used to know. So I suggest that you watch yourself, because I won't stand around while you bleed the life out of someone else. You can believe that.
Quick, I want first shower. It's going to take me ages.
Oh, stop running, please, Mason. God, it's her lunch date today. All this bloody fuss and her boyfriend only probably shower of pie and sauce. Hey, what's this? Give us a spank, you bitch. Crazy face. Come along, back it up. Now, what's...
Mitchell, what have you done to your hair?
Oh, I reckon it looks real pretty, Mrs. Morris. Yes, psychedelic dandruff.
Oh, come on, that's enough. Move along, Hunt. You too, Parker. Where'd you get it?
In the kitchen, Mrs. M, but it was going to be thrown out anyway.
You go and wash it out, and if I catch you with it again, I'll put you on a charge for stealing.
Yes, Mrs. M.
All right, coming, Judy. Slight delay.
Thank you, Mrs. Morris. Are you okay?
She's fine, Brian. Can you look after her?
Yeah, sure. What happened last night?
It was just a stupid argument. Sonia got really carried away.
You sure it wasn't the other way around?
Come off it.
Okay, well, I'll take care of her.
And look after myself.
Oh, come along, ladies. You like Brown's cows?
I heard you're up bright and early.
Why didn't you stay in bed? You need the rest.
Not a doddering old man yet. Anyway, I thought you'd like to lie in yourself.
No point. I didn't sleep too well either. You read your paper, I'll get you some coffee.
Oh, thank you, dear. Ah, just what the doctor ordered. Thank you. I thought a lot last night about your situation, and I've come up with a couple of ideas you might like to discuss.
Well, maybe later, Father. I've been doing a bit of thinking myself, and I've come to a definite decision.
Oh?
Yes, I'll know more later, but in the meantime, I'm going to go and see someone who perhaps can help me sort out my future.
Good for you.
Poor little Bobbin, it looks so pretty, too. Get your dirty paws off me and leave her alone, Phyllis.
Well, don't be awful. It's bad for your digestion.
Yeah, well, so's that porridge they're dishing up. Hey, I got an idea, Bobby. You want to look real punk? Put some of the old grey death in your hair and make it stand on end, eh?
I can think of a place to put some porridge that'd make you stand on end.
Why don't you drop off?
Listen, mate, I owe you one, so don't push your luck. You understand? Good. Now get to the end of the line.
Ooh, I'm going to need a knife and fork to eat this.
Yeah, well, I'll have yours if you don't want it. Picks. I'm always real hungry at breakfast.
Only at breakfast? Well, you can have it. I'm going to save my appetite for lunchtime.
Oh, come on, move it along. It'll be like concrete before I get to it.
Hey,
They caught Red. I just heard it on my tranny.
Oh, God, she didn't stay out for long, did she?
poor Rab. Did I get her money?
Don't think so. Oh, bad luck she didn't get away. I'm not looking forward to her belly aching all over the place again. Hey, Pix, you quite sure you don't want any breakfast?
Oh, no, thanks, Cass. I'm going to order everything on the menu for lunch.
Oh. Good old Grey Death.
I can't believe she'd actually attack a blind girl. The woman can't have compassion for anyone.
You want to speak with her?
Oh, no. Keep her in solitary until this afternoon. Then you can put her on extra cleaning duties.
I think Johns would be safer with a transfer. Stevens is probably going to try and get back at her again.
Yeah, well, I'll see what I can do. But we've already unloaded a few to other blocks and to Barnhurst. I think we'll be pushing our luck with another one.
We've got to try and keep them apart somehow.
There you go, another troublemaker back today.
Oh, yes, Keane. Do you think Joan will be coming in this morning?
God, I hope not. Keep your fingers crossed. She doesn't want to work out a resignation. Otherwise, we'll have real trouble with those two.
Miss Ferguson, come in.
Morning, Mrs. Reynolds. Hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, of course not. Sit down. Coffee?
No, thank you.
Well, I hope you don't mind my saying so, but you're the last person I expected to see this morning.
Mrs. Reynolds, I need your help.
In what way?
I want to withdraw my resignation.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yes, put the call through. I'll speak to her. Good morning, Mrs. Reynolds. Erica Davidson speaking.
Oh, good morning.
Mrs. Powell's not here at the moment. She had to go to D Block to sort something out.
Oh, I see. Well, I'll call back later. I'm sorry to have disturbed you, Mrs. Davidson.
Not at all. I've been meaning to call you, but I thought I'd let you get back on your feet first. How are you feeling? Ready to take over the reins again?
Not quite. But I must admit, I can't help thinking of the place.
Yes, I know what you mean. Did you want to speak to Mrs. Powell personally, or could I help you?
You'll have to deal with it sooner or later, I suppose.
Oh, that sounds ominous.
Joan Ferguson's just been to see me.
Oh?
She wants to withdraw her resignation.
Well, why did she go to you? Why didn't she come to Mrs. Powell or myself?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I don't really know, but she asked me to back her with the department, and I said I would.
You do realize the circumstances behind her resignation?
Yes.
And yet you're prepared to take her back?
I'm not saying I'm happy about it, Mrs. Davidson, but I have to give her the benefit of the doubt. She's been through a lot during the last couple of days, and she claims that her attitude towards the job has changed because of it.
And you believe her?
I'm not prepared to call her a liar.
Very well, Mrs. Reynolds. I'll tell Mrs. Powell you called. Goodbye. Hope I've misunderstood what that's all about.
What was that all about and who won? Coffee. What a good idea.
Yes, I've already done that, Mrs. Powell. I believe Mr. Manning will be looking after her. Very well. That was Mrs. Powell. She wants Keane to go to solitary as soon as she's had a shower.
Right. Give her time to cool down a bit.
It's hard to understand, isn't it? Do they really think they'll get away with it?
Must do. Though I don't think there's too much thinking goes into it, Stanley. Look out. Here we go.
Someone had to sign for this.
Dorothy!
Rick, didn't know you were here.
Blimey, haven't seen you for a while.
This is real cosy, Porky. Now get these bloody things
It's
off
enough,
me.
Keane.
You want to bet on...
Shut up. Yeah, I'll sign for her.
Now that we know where you are, how about coming out and having a drink with us one night?
Yeah, you're on.
You and Porky on together, eh, Screw?
I'll give you a ring.
Okay. See you.
See you.
See you next time, Porky.
Righto, Keane. Straight to the showers and then to solitary.
Get stuffed.
Move it. Officer Ward.
You're a sinner girl, Rebecca. You're throwing your life away.
Oh, yeah, I'm real silly, aren't I? There's 50,000 bucks sitting out there, and it's all mine. How much you got, Grandpa?
Here's the problem. The 18th of last month. H Block had 3 on night shift instead of 2. Is there any reason for that? Mrs. Powell?
Sorry.
What's the matter? It's Joan Ferguson, isn't it?
I can't understand why Anne is backing her. She knows the trouble that the woman causes.
A member of her staff has made a reasonable request. Now, whether I agree with her or not, the first decision must be hers. After that, it's up to the department.
Yes, but she's got no right to even
she
consider
has every right in the world. She is the governor, Mrs. Powell, not you.
All right. But if they don't accept a resignation, who's going to tell the department they're wrong? You?
No, Mrs. Powell. I did that once before. You know what happened. As far as I'm concerned, the department is not wrong. Ever.
Who's there? Well, come on, who is it? How long do I have to stay in here? How long do I have...
Morning, Stevens. You'll have to wait for Mr. Manning to find that out.
Why, don't you know, or have you forgotten?
That's quite
Look,
enough of that.
I didn't touch that blind bitch, and even if I wanted to, do you think I'd do it in my own cell after
Look,
lockup?
I've already told you, Mr. Manning...
Damn, Mr. Manning, I'm asking you. Oh, I know you're old, but surely you're not stupid. You can think for yourself, can't you? Tell me!
Open the gate! Don't you screw with me! Let's get back, right? You're all right, mate.
I'll wreck this place, you hear me?
Sure, I took a bit of a whack. Yes, I'm all right. Really? Will she be all right? She won't hurt herself now, will she?
Ah, she'll be fine. Look, I've got to go. Stay until she calms down, if you want.
Yes, I think I can handle that.
They make me so angry, they really do.
Something wrong, Pixie?
Look at this, Mr. Schumann. Makeup all over the collar, and I gave her tissues, too.
Is that all? You had me worried. I've never seen you lose your temper before.
Oh, I wasn't nasty with her. Really, I wasn't.
Of course not. I know that. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Do you know why?
I knew it. She wasn't going to buy the dress after all, was
Correct. You see, you're learning.
Oh, do you really think so?
I could walk out of here at any moment and be quite confident with you in charge.
What a lovely thing to say. Oh, Mr. Sherman, look, there's Ralph.
Pixie, you will be careful, won't you? You won't do anything rash.
Oh, no. After I finish with it, there won't be a scrap of makeup left. Excuse me? Ralph, what's wrong? You look dreadful.
I know, I didn't sleep at all last night.
Why?
It's your fault. I couldn't help thinking about you. I love you, Pixie.
Oh, Ralphie.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Now, come on, be serious. We are. I reckon if the freak had to have something, another job, it'd have to be something like that.
Now, I've got a good idea for a job for her. What about test pilot for an electric chair company?
What do you reckon, Cass?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just glad she's gone, that's all.
And so say all of us.
Yeah, just hope her replacement is an improvement.
Yeah, well, with our luck, it'll be vinegar tits.
Vinegar tits? Who's that? Oh, jeez, Bobby, she's real bad news. I met her at Barnhurst, and I reckon she's just as bad as our Miss...
Oh, Miss Ferguson, we were just talking...
Yes, Hunt, I know what you're talking about. I won't take up too much of your time, ladies. But you will probably think that I've broken my side of the bargain. I have decided to withdraw my resignation. Now, I realise that my methods have been wrong in the past, but I intend to change that. I don't expect you to believe me now, but if you'll just give me a chance, I'm sure we'll all benefit.
crazy. We're both in the same boat together, so why don't we join forces? Reb?
Look, Stephen, just shut up, will you?
Only trying to help.
Oh, yeah, you're all heart.
I'll tell you this one more time. I work solo, and I don't need your bloody help.
You sure? Ferguson will be after you for trying to kill her father. You're on top of the list now.
She's left.
I bet she works out a notice. Gives her a chance to get at you. What do you say? Red?
I'll think about it.
Hey, don't start eating yet. You got the wrong plate. Oh, that's close. There you go. You're not with it, are you? Still thinking about Joan Ferguson, huh?
Of course I am. I hope I haven't made a dreadful mistake.
Did you think it was right at the time?
Yes.
Well, that's all you got to worry about.
Do you think I was right?
You want the truth?
Oh, I wouldn't ask you.
All right, for what it's worth. No. I think she's putting it over you. I've seen that woman in action before.
But this was a different person, Wally. I mean, totally different. No one could act like that. She even confessed to things she'd done in the prison. She didn't have to do that.
Granted, but
and
look,
then she went on to tell me about all the things that had happened with her father. She couldn't fake that. She really loves him. The whole conversation was totally honest.
All right, calm down. Look, it boils down to this, doesn't it? If you made the right decision, good. If you made the wrong decision, well, you're the one who'll have to live with it.
No, I won't have to. I've made up my mind, Wally. I'm not going back. I can't. Well, Joan needs that prison. It's her life. But as far as I'm concerned...
And what about the women? Who do they need? You or Joan?
My son needs me more, or have you forgotten him?
Pixie? Pixie?
Oh, don't say anything, Ralph, my darling. It's too beautiful. Oh, listen to the birds.
Yeah, but you can listen to the birds anytime. I want to talk.
Oh, but I can't. Well, that's the trouble. Oh, we have sparrows over at the prison, and they're cute little things, I suppose, but, well, they don't sing much, do they?
Oh, please, Pixie. You haven't heard a word I've said.
Yes, I have, Ralph, my darling. I think it's very romantic. Well, there's nothing I would like more than to go away on a cruise with you, but...
But what?
Well, I can't, can I? I'm going to be in that dreadful place for years.
But not if you behave yourself, and you get that remission, or whatever it is you get.
Oh, no, Ralph, darling. Oh, it's not that I won't be good, because I will. Well, I did hit Cass, but that was a mistake. And I only punched Bobby because she made me lose my temper.
You're not serious.
Well, don't look like that, Ralph, darling. I always stay out of riots. Well, I try to, and when they tried to kill Miss Ferguson... Oh, did I tell you about that? It was terrible. They tried to hang her. Well, I had nothing to do with it.
Oh.
No, I was too sick after smoking those cigarettes with drugs in them.
I don't believe this. I don't. Pixie, I've got to get you out of that place.
Oh, gosh, look at the time. I have to get back to Mr. Schumann. Are you still going to give me a lift after work?
Yes. Yes, I am.
I mean, does she really expect us to believe all that crap?
You know your trouble, Phyllis. You're a cynic. What do you reckon, Jude?
Yeah, I gotta admit, I'm very disappointed in you, Phyllis. I mean, there she was, begging us for forgiveness, and you were the one that had to not believe her. I mean, the rest of us believed her, didn't we, girls?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Now, just, hey, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Now, I know she's been pretty rotten. She's a bitch. Yeah, well, fair enough. But nothing can. She's a bitch. Will you shut up, Bobby, and give us a go?
What did you want to say, dear?
I was trying to say, if a person wants to change and be a bit nice, they ought to be given a chance.
I don't believe this.
No, look, we had a dog on the farm once, kept biting everybody. Now, we was going to have him put down. But you know what? We found he had a bit of barbed wire in his paw. See? Now, he was right as rain after that.
Well, if you want to look for barbed wire in the freak's paw, you can go right ahead.
All right, Bobby, that's enough of that.
Oh, geez, what are you doing here? I thought you'd be having your afternoon sleep.
Don't be cheeky.
I'm not.
Me and Stan are good mates, aren't we, Stan?
Although I reckon he's got the hucks for the freak himself. Oh.
Mitchell, I've spent over 40 years in male prisons. I brought up a daughter at one stage would have made you look like Mary Poppins. So if you're trying to shock me, you'll have to do a lot better than that. Oh, why don't we get some work done, hmm?
I think I've underestimated you, Stanley.
Eh?
I've heard. Masterful set down you just gave young Bobby.
Oh, after my own girl, she's a pushover.
I ran into a few hard cases myself when I was doing my social worker's degree. They didn't teach your method, though.
Learned the hard way through experiences. I want to run down the social workers that do a good job. I didn't know you were involved with that. How did you end up here?
Same old story, suppose. Got the degree, then couldn't get the job. Thought I'd combine the best of both worlds. Experience from the force, knowledge from the psychological side of things, you know.
The right combination. But don't let them know too soon you got this extra bit of understanding. They'll take advantage. I knew they'd try it on me, an old bloke on his way out. Now, you gotta know when to put the foot down and when to bend the rules. Bit like being married, really.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know about that.
Oh, you will. You can bet your life there's a nice girl out there waiting for a good bloke like you.
What's so funny? You're unreal,
You get your boyfriend to bash her up. Now you're screaming because she's after you.
She's not after me, she's trying to kill me.
So, kill her first.
It's not my style.
What are you scared of? She's blind, isn't she?
Listen, are you in with me or not?
Don't rush me. I'll tell you something for nothing, though. If you don't put a big full stop to that Belinda, you won't be teaming up with no one.
You hear me?
Yes. Yes, I hear you.
Okay, cut the chatter. Out, Stevens. You're on special cleaning duties.
Cleaning? Why?
Punishment for attacking an inmate.
I thought that's why I was in here.
Oh, we don't want you to do it again.
Don't worry, I won't.
Oh, thank goodness there's no one here.
Pixie, before you
Oh,
start...
I'm sorry I was late, Mr. Schumann, but it was so lovely over at the park, and before I knew what time it was...
Pixie, please, I must talk to you.
You are angry with me, aren't you?
Of course not, but I am worried. I'm dreadfully worried you'll do something silly.
Silly? What do you mean?
Well, this is none of my business, mind you, and you may think I'm an interfering old so-and-so.
Oh, of course not. I think you're lovely.
Thank you. I think the same about
Oh,
you.
thank you.
But I'm very worried about you and Ralph.
Why?
Well, I know how fond you are of weddings, and should Ralph ask you to marry him again, you might be inclined to...
Oh, but I couldn't marry him because they wouldn't allow that at the prison, would they?
Oh, I suppose you
Well,
were.
there you go, then. Mind you, not that I wouldn't marry him. He's been absolutely lovely, Mr. Schumann. In fact, I think I love him just as much now as I did before. But...
What's wrong, my dear?
I've just been thinking. Well, it's dreadful being a criminal, isn't it? Well, we can't marry or anything.
Exercise period, Stevens. Hurry up and join the others.
Well, I've got extra cleaning duties. I've yet to do the library.
Oh, I see. Stevens, I overheard you and Keane talking in solitary.
Well, I was just sounding her out, seeing what side she was on. I wasn't trying to put
Just
you down.
relax, relax, Stevens. Now, I realise that in the past I've been very hard on you. But that's all over now.
You mean we're back in business?
No, that's not what I mean at all. I won't be involved in anything that might cause trouble.
Well, if you're trying to confuse me, you're doing a good job.
Let's just say that my thinking has changed. From now on, I will be doing my job by the book. Understand?
Whatever you say.
You just shouldn't do things like that.
What do you mean?
Well, I was late back from lunch, and then you asked Mr. Schumann if I could finish early. Oh, golly, I just feel dreadful.
I'm sorry, Pixie, but I've got a surprise for you, and it just couldn't
A
wait.
surprise? Oh, darling, I love surprises. What is
No,
it?
I'll tell you later. Get in the car. We're going for a drive.
Oh, where to? Well, you know I can't be late back.
Oh, I know, love, but we've got plenty of time. That's why I got you to knock off early.
Oh, aren't you clever? Oh, quickly, let's get in. I can't wait to see what it is.
Okay, you guys, no cheating.
Wow, one down and two to go.
Oh, where'd you get them?
Sally in maternity's given up.
You wouldn't want to sell one, would you?
How right you are, Hunt. Anyway, you should give up too. They're bad for you.
Oh, listen to who's talking. You've never got one out of your mouth.
That's right. That's why I can speak with experience. Evil things, these cigarettes. That's why I burn every one I get my hands on.
Judy, I think we've got trouble.
What's wrong?
I just went to get the spanner and everything. Sonia was working outside the library door.
Well, I thought she was in the pound.
Not anymore, she's not. What are we going to do about it?
Nothing at the moment. Here comes Father Time.
Hey, Mr. Dobson, you want to push up the hill?
Thank you, Bobby. Most people think I'm over it already.
Is that supposed to be a joke or something?
No, I wish it were. Belinda, Mr. Bennett will be here soon. I'd like you to wait in the rec room for it.
Yeah, all right.
Come along, then. Take my arm if you want to.
Thank you.
Step there.
Stupid old turd. Oh, why? At least he tries to be nice to us. Just don't like oldies, that's all.
Oh, what a shame. And I thought we were such good friends, too.
Oh, I didn't mean that. Well, you know what I mean. Bugger.
Pixie, please, let me explain.
No, Ralph, I don't trust you. I told you we had to be back at the prison on time. We'll never make it. Now I'll be in awful trouble. And what about the surprise you promised me?
Yeah, but don't you see? This is the surprise.
What do you mean?
Look, Pixie, just tell me one thing. Do you love me?
Look, I'm mad at you now. But of course I do.
Enough to marry me?
Oh, honestly, you just don't listen sometimes, do you? I told you I didn't want to marry you until they let me out of the prison.
They already have.
Oh, for good, silly.
Pixie, just listen. When you told me about all the things that happened to you in prison, well, I just couldn't bear to think of you staying there any longer. So, I went and I spoke to the prison governor.
You spoke to Mrs. Powell?
Mrs. Powell, yes, I certainly did. And I told her that if they kept you in there any longer, I'd go straight to the newspapers and tell them all the things you told me.
Oh, gosh, she'll be awfully mad at me.
No, she wasn't. She agrees with me. She doesn't think you should be there. So you see, that's the surprise. You've been, how do they put it, bound over to my custody. Yes, that's it. Well, aren't you going to say anything? We're going to get married.
Well, what about the license and the wedding dress and...
Don't worry about the license. I convinced them that they'd put the wrong name on the one I got to marry Miranda. Now, close your eyes. All right, open.
Oh, Ralph! Oh, darling. Oh, I do love you.
Here we are.
Oh, Mr. Dobson, would it be all right if I waited in the library? That's where my lesson's going to be anyway.
If you like, just wait till I lock this, will you?
Oh, you don't have to come with me.
I can get there by myself. I've done it a lot of times.
You sure?
Yep, look, I hate being led round all the time.
All right, dear. Just watch your step.
Thank you. Sonia?
Who's there? Is that you, Stevens? Don't be stupid, Stevens. Mr. Bennett's going to be here any minute. You! Come on, Stevens. What's the matter? Not scared, are you? I'm blind, remember? Now we're even. You know, there's some blind people who can tell the difference between light and dark. And I'm one of them. At the moment, it seems to be pretty dark. They've turned the lights out, haven't they? Now we're both blind. And I'm going to make sure you stay that way.
Helens agree.
Love hurts!
He'll break your heart, honey.
30 Helens agree. Love hurts.
Sketch comedy. What is it? What is required? The first thing that is needed for a comedy sketch is a premise. How about a what-if premise? What if a man awoke one morning to discover his chest had been colonized by Spain?
I claim this chest in the name of Spain.
The premise has been established. The comedic possibilities are inherent. All that is needed for this scene to progress is a conflict.
I claim this chest in the name of France.
Oh, Spaniard.
French. My chest. My chest. My chest.
The conflict has been set in motion. The scene is doing extremely well.
Happy birthday to you.
But it's not my birthday. I swear it's not.
No, it's yours.
All that is required now for this to be a fully formed and well-rounded comedy sketch is a resolution.
I'm telling you, I circled it.
I don't think so because I'm a Cancer and it's not.
Scram, Spain!
Shake a leg, France! Why, I ought to sell your eyes to my angry sister.
They're gone, friend. But I claim this chest. For Mother Russia. Good morning.
Notice the mug to the audience. This indicates that the punchline has been delivered. This is generally followed by a blackout.
"30 Helens agree."
Honesty is the best policy.
If you cheat on your wife, really, aren't you only cheating yourself?
I should know. I've been married for 12 years, adding up all my marriages.
If a guy won't tell you where he lives, watch out. Or if he owns his own pool cue.
30 Helens agree. Honesty is the best policy.
It all looks so good. Maybe I'll have the lobster and the steak.
The appetizers are good here. The fried camembert at $4.95 is excellent and filling.
Well, there are my hips. Maybe I'll just have a salad.
Thanks. Why won't you let me forget that I have a cabbage for a head?
I didn't mean it that way at all. I'm sorry.
I guess I've just been touchy about things since birth.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Okay. I guess you'll have to make it up to me by sleeping with me then.
You're kidding, right?
Yeah, kidding. The lady will have a bowl of gin, no ice. We don't have time for it to melt. And I'll have a rum and rye. And could you garnish that with a couple of Tums?
What a manly drink.
Yes, I'm having such strong feelings about you that I'm having trouble with my gut.
That's horribly romantic.
Oh. I have something to tell you. I know I've only known you an hour, but I love you. Would you get out of here? I'm trying to talk. I love you. Wow, the words felt so purifying. I've never uttered them to anyone before. Well, before noon.
Really?
Yeah, really. What's with the third degree? Oh, sorry. My emotions are making me testy. Listen, I just don't want to be alone tonight. Although I do want to be alone when I wake up, if you know what I'm saying.
I thought you were different.
I am. Look at my head.
I'm tired of talking about your head, frankly.
Oh. This isn't working, is it?
No, it isn't, frankly.
I mean, sometimes you go out on a date with someone and it's like magic. Other times, it sucks.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I think we're both adults. I think we both know the adult thing to do would be to cut our losses.
100%.
We'll forego the expensive dinner and just have sex in the can. I mean the ladies' room. Pardon my French.
I think I'm gonna go home now.
What? I paid for your bus fare. You owe me.
Goodbye.
Come on, baby. One ride deserves another. Once you go green, you'll never go back. The service drove my mademoiselle away. Helga Foisey. That's my mother's name. Listen, Helga. How about a date?
I'm sorry, I have a rule about dating creeps.
And what is that rule?
No.
Helga, I could just live between your breasts. And I don't mean that in a sexist way. Can I get a towel? A lettuce spinner? You! I ask you, I blame you! Get out of here! Why didn't you play something sexy, like Shaft?
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll turn your attention to center field, the children of the Farm Belt, inspired by the impact of technology on their lives, spontaneously and without rehearsal, salute the tractor. There they go, America's youngest and finest. Let's give them a big hand.
Great party, huh? I actually don't know anyone at the party, actually. I'm kind of new to the neighborhood, actually. But my friend Chris said, come to the party, I'll introduce you around, you'll know everybody by the time you leave the party. Chris knows everybody, and soon I'll know everybody. Chris didn't show up. So I guess I gotta mingle. So here I am mingling. Of course, mingling really isn't my game. I'm not really a mingler, per se. I was actually in the corner alone mingling. that means I'm not talking to anyone, actually. I saw you over here. I said, there's a guy by himself. Why don't I go over here? I'll mingle with this guy. This guy looks like a mingler. So, hi, I'm Derek. Pleased to meet you.
Well, it certainly is a pleasure to meet you, Derek.
I'm sorry if I bothered you.
Oh, no, you're not bothering me, Derek. Far from it. There's nothing I would rather do than just stand here and chat with you. You know, really get to know you.
Look, I don't think there's any need to be sarcastic.
Oh, I'm not being sarcastic. No. This is just a little speech impediment. I can't help it.
Okay, I've obviously said or done something wrong to upset you. I'm just going to apologize and be on my way.
No, please stay. It's true. I've talked this way all my life. It's made things very difficult for me.
Yeah, right.
Hey, where are you going? Come back. I really want to be your friend. I'm so lonely.
They say that blacks are inferior because they like to dance and screw around. Excuse me? I love to dance. And as far as I'm concerned, screwing is next to godliness. And I'm the smartest person I know. They say that Orientals are superior because they're better at math and have smaller families. I guess that's why there's only 1 billion people in China. I mean, I'm certainly not having any children, yet I don't hear a lot of people running around touting the superiority of faggots. Well, just me. They say that whites are smarter than blacks, but dumber than Orientals. I guess we're just right. We're the porridge that Goldilocks chose. Not too hot like those saucy Africans, but not too cold like those chilly Chinese. They say that heterosexuals are better than homosexuals because we're so promiscuous. I guess that means we're also black. It makes sense, because we can really dance. And boy, do we understand the blues. People make fun of me because I lisp. Really, such a lot of fuss over a few extra S's. They say that every different group has their own language. For example, fags say things like girl and sister, and what's her problem? Another example, foxy black mamas. They say things like girl and sister, and what's her problem? Makes you think. And straight men say things like no, and too expensive, and touchdown, and score! They're so together. So let's recap, shall we? Blacks are inferior because they supposedly commit more crime and test lower in white people's IQ tests. I don't know about you, but if I was raised in the ghetto, I'd be out there ripping off Whitey and forgetting the capital of Maine. And Orientals aren't supposed to be as sexually driven as blacks or whites. I guess all those tourists who flock to the flesh pots of Bangkok are there for the food. And blacks, because they apparently have larger than usual genitalia, are called stupider. And Orientals, because they supposedly have smaller than usual genitalia, are called smarter, not cheated. And whites, again, have perfect wieners and buns. I guess we're just smart enough. Smart enough to stay out of trouble, but too dumb to run convenience stores. I don't know what all the fuss is all about. We're all just here to find love. I just think the world would be a lot better place if the scientists could keep their slide rules in their pants. It reminds me of something that Yoko Ono once said to Malcolm X in a bistro in Rome. Oh, the food's terrible, but the waiter's hilarious.
"30 Helens agree."
You can't pay too much for a good pair of shoes.
Sensible shoes make sense. I spend a lot of time on my feet, and these make it a lot easier.
My God, your feet are what you walk on.
30 Helens agree. You can't pay too much for a good pair of shoes.
Okay, I'll see your 5. Mm-hmm. And raise your 5. Okay.
I ante and I fold.
Okay. I'll see your 10 and raise your 5.
So 15 to me?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I'll see the 15 and I'll raise 5.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see the 20, and I'll raise 20.
Ooh. Very good, sir. Okay, I'll fold.
I'll fold. I'm still folded.
I'll see your 20 and call.
I knew it, a pair of shoes.
Unbelievable.
You're the worst bluffer in the history of poker.
Now that we all know I'm a bad
My
bluffer.
grandmother could tell you were bluffing.
Well, why don't we shut up then? Why don't we just shut up? Okay, everyone knows I can't.
Ream and weep.
I wish I could weep.
My deal?
Yeah.
So you're in or out of this one? I want more of your money.
Just give me a minute.
Come on, are you in or out?
Just give me a minute.
Are you in or
Would you
out?
just give me a minute?
Whoa, what's wrong with you? Having your period?
Well, what if I was, huh?
Do you want to step outside?
No. I just want to have a period, that's all. Just one a month, okay?
Come on, guys.
Why? Might help a guy organize his time.
Yeah. Each month I'd feel my body become fertile and I'd say, no, I choose not to have a baby. Oh, rent's due.
Yeah. Well, that'd be pretty ridiculous, you know, because I hear menopause is ugly.
Oh?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I heard it's great.
What?
Yeah, I heard it's like taking ecstasy in a rocket ship ride, all rolled into one.
And I heard that you don't know
Well,
what you're talking about.
we will never know, will we?
Deal.
Deal.
I ran into Arlene the other day.
Oh, yeah, Arlene.
Hey, which one's Arlene again?
Yeah, Arlene, you know, with the big tits.
Oh, right. I wish my girlfriend had tits like that.
Oh, come on.
I wish I had tits like that. Breasts like that.
Why?
I don't know, to give milk or whatnot. Nurture another living thing. I don't know, lots of reasons.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you this. You get in a lot of trouble if your foreman caught you breastfeeding on the loading dock. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then I just have to get a job at a more enlightened warehouse.
Yeah, you don't need them.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know Arlene's having a baby.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, that's right. She says it's a boy.
Oh?
No ultrasound. She just knows.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
God, I'd like to have a baby.
What would you want a baby for?
I'm bored.
Oh, good reason. You would be such a rotten mother. You would be such a rotten mother.
so bad.
Would not.
You would. You'd be a horrible mother. Do you want to know who would be a good mother?
Yeah, who? I would be a good mother.
No, you would make a great wet nurse. Howard would make a great mother.
Howard?
Yeah, Howard.
Why Howard?
Well, think about it.
I'm nurturing. I still have that rubber plant from college.
You're kidding. That thing was like this big when you got it.
That's right.
And how big is it now?
6'2".
Wow. I just wouldn't have the patience.
You need patience.
Yeah.
Let's play cards, please.
All right.
Okay, gents. I'd like to be a dyke.
Who wouldn't?
Don't be crass. I meant that. I'd like to be buried in the Sisterhood of Women.
Yeah. Lesbians are so great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They get so much done in a day.
Yeah. You know why? Because they get it done together. There's no competition. With them, it's go team all the way.
That's right.
Wow, women together, huh?
Yeah. Is that women with a Y?
Oh, do you have to ask?
Oh, wait. Sorry, forgot to call Wild. Hold on. What do you want, Wild? Put your cards down.
Twos.
Oh, 3s, 5s, 7s.
8s and 10s.
Face cards.
Okay, everything's wild. We'll play
Okay,
for the
great.
ante. What do you got?
5 aces.
5 aces.
5 aces?
5 aces.
I got nothing.
What do you mean? You can't have
I got nothing.
Everything's wild.
Well, I got nothing.
No, he's right. He's got nothing.
What a hand. You were the worst poker player.
Well, that brings the time to exactly 1:45. And that's all we have on Scottish television for tonight. But if you fancy some more entertainment, Channel 4 continues until 1:30 with The Light Fantastic. No, it's not a dance, it's a detailed look at the development of animated film, and a fascinating look it is too. TVAM is on the air on this channel at 6:55 in the morning, and Scottish television programmes resume at 9:25 with Best Friends. That's all for tonight. Of course, our programmes tomorrow include the golf from 3 o'clock from Hank's Castle, and if you missed that, you can catch up with it again on Channel 4 at 6 o'clock. Also tomorrow, the very last episode of Albion Market at 6. I'll be watching that. Let's take a look now at what you and I can enjoy together on Scottish television on Sunday. And your late-night entertainment continues on independent radio. In the West on Radio Clyde on 261 medium wave, 95.1 VHF, and in the East on Radio Forth on 194 medium wave and 96.8 VHF. And by the way, if you're not retuning to Channel 4, please don't forget to switch off your television set for the night. From all of us here in Cowcaddens, a very good night to you.
Now you can go to bed, Spotty.